tensions are growing between China and India in the Arunachal Pradesh region, which is near the disputed border between the two countries. The Chinese Civil Affairs Ministry released 11 Chinese names of places in this Indian state, which is seen as a symbolic provocation by China to assert its claim to the region. Arunachal Pradesh was the site of heavy fighting during the 1962 India-China War, and the announcement by China marks the third time it has standardized names in areas around the region since 2017. This move may be an attempt to showcase defiance after a recent report that U.S. intelligence assistance helped Indian soldiers push back the Chinese military incursion in the region during the last year. An Indian Foreign Ministry spokesperson rejected the Chinese names and described Arunachal Pradesh as an integral and inalienable part of India. The conflict between Chinese and Indian soldiers in the Arunachal Pradesh region of India is part of a broader pattern of confrontations between the two countries. Although India's trade with China has increased and diplomatic ties remain normal, India has not undertaken any local military operations, which has tested Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reputation for toughness and resolve. Prime Minister Modi's nationalist rhetoric has boxed him in, and India's government has downplayed the border crisis since the deadly clashes in Ladakh in 2020 to shield the Prime Minister's image. This weakness has likely emboldened China to put even more pressure on India, which has far-reaching consequences for New Delhi's foreign policy, including how it approaches its partnership with Washington. India fears being boxed into an alliance, but it can no longer wish away the Chinese threat. The Yangtze Plateau lies in India's Tawang district, which is claimed by China. Tawang is where the 6th Dalai Lama was born in the 17th century, and it is home to the second-largest Tibetan Buddhist monastery in the world. The Mukman Line, although not formally accepted by the Chinese, serves as the de facto border between Arunachal Pradesh and Tibet. In some places, the line violates its own principle of following the highest watershed, creating discrepancies on the ground. Yangtze is one such area of dispute, as established during border talks in the 1990s. India first occupied the area in 1986 during the 7-year Sumdurungchu crisis with China. It is understandable why the PLA wants to control the 17,000-foot ridge, as military commanders agree on its tactical importance. It offers an unrestricted view of the entire Tawang Valley and Bum La Pass, providing a tactical advantage. Skirmishes like the one on December 9th have taken place in Arunachal Pradesh 2 or 3 times a month on average recently. The Indian government has succeeded in keeping these incidents largely under wraps until now, but the recent clash has drawn more attention and prompted some observers to call for a more robust response from the Indian government. Some analysts have suggested that China is trying to test India's resolve in the region, and they warn that further provocations could lead to a larger conflict. The ongoing tensions at the India-China border have become a critical factor in shaping India's foreign policy. Despite US President Joe Biden calling ties with India the most important relationship for the United States into the 21st century, India has continued to pursue relationships with other countries, such as Russia and Iran. The situation in the Arunachal Pradesh region remains tense, and it is unclear how it will develop in the coming weeks and months. However, India can follow a multidimensional policy choice in order to avert any untoward escalation in the region. Firstly, India must maintain a strong military presence in the disputed region to deter any Chinese aggression. Next, the Indian government should be transparent about the skirmishes that are taking place along the border, and should provide regular updates to the public and media. India should work towards building strong alliances with other countries in the region to counter China's influence and exploring diplomatic channels to resolve the border dispute and prevent any escalation of the conflict seems a likely doable idea. Infrastructure improvement in the border areas to enhance its military preparedness, logistical support and capabilities can serve Indian interest well. Efforts should be made to promote economic ties with China, but at the same time, India must reduce its dependence on Chinese imports and investments to reduce its vulnerabilities. Overall, a balanced approach that combines military strength, diplomatic engagement, and economic prudence is required to effectively deal with the India-China border dispute. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe our channel and share it with your friends.